This conference will now be recorded.
All right, call to order the monthly meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals for Sylvania Township. It's Monday, November 1st at 5:01 p.m. Or if you can call roll.
Okay, Mr. Levine,
Here.
Mr. Malik,
Here.
Mr. Mercer.
Here. Thank you. At this point, has everyone had the opportunity to review minutes? Yes. If so, can I entertain a motion to approve minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. Second.
Excellent. Maria, if you can call roll, please.
Okay. Mr. Malik,
Yes.
Mr. Mercer.
Yes.
Thank you. Before we get into old or new business, at this point, if you're going to give testimony, they have to swear you in. If you could, please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Thank you. Seeing that we have no old business, we're going to move on to new business. I'm going to list off the first three items all at once to address them all in the same process. We're going to have an exception for an addition to a legal non-conforming dwelling in the property located at 9142 Sylvania-Metamora Road, parcel number 78-01404, Sylvania Township zoning resolution, section 1703. In addition, a variance request for an addition to a legal non-conforming dwelling for a front setback on a major roadway from 100 feet required to 50 feet provided for the property located at 9142 Sylvania-Metamora Road, parcel number 70-01404, Sylvania Township zoning resolution, section 700, section D. And in addition to that, a variance request for an addition to a legal non-conforming dwelling where a rear yard setback 60 feet required to 47 feet provided for the property located at 9142 Sylvania-Metamora Road, parcel number 78-01404, Sylvania Township zoning resolution, section 700, subsection A. Daryl, can you get staff report, please?
Yes. Subject property at 9142 Sylvania-Metamora Road is located on the north side of Sylvania-Metamora Road, just west of Mitchell Road. The lot is zoned A3 agriculture and measures approximately 0.65 acres. An 858 square foot, one-story single-family dwelling and detached garage is sited approximately in the center of the lot. Other A3 zone single-family dwellings abut the subject property to the north and east. R2 zone single-family residential uses abut the subject property to the south and west. Exception request. The applicants desired to construct an addition onto the east and north sides of the existing dwelling. As this dwelling was constructed in 1943, 13 years prior to the enactment of zoning in Sylvania Township in 1956, the property is considered a legal non-conforming lot of record. Section 1703 of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution requires that a non-conforming building or structure shall not be enlarged, extended, altered, or moved without approval by the Board of Zoning Appeals. Thus, the applicant is requesting the BZA approve an exception to a non-conforming building. Variance request. Section 700 of the zoning resolution dictates a 100-foot minimum setback from center line for any structure on Sylvania-Metamora Road. The existing non-conforming dwelling sits approximately 44 feet from center line, with the edge of the front porch on the public right-of-way line. Section 700 of the zoning resolution also dictates a minimum 60-foot setback for principal structures. Thus, the subject property would need at least 160-foot depth from center line just to meet the required setbacks, without taking into consideration the width of the structure. The subject property has only an approximate 140-foot depth from center line on the western boundary line and approximately 153 feet on its eastern boundary line. The applicants are requesting that 2 variances be granted for the proposed addition. The first request is for a 50-foot variance to the required 100-foot setback in order to construct the building addition 50 feet from the center line of Sylvania-Metamora. The second request is for a variance of 13 feet to the minimum rear setback in an A3 district of 60 feet required to 47 feet provided. Zoning staff recommends approval of the exception request for an addition to a legal non-conforming dwelling for the property located at 9142 Sylvania-Metamora Road for the following two reasons. One, approval of this exception should not present a negative impact upon the public good or neighboring properties or impair the visibility, safety of the traveling public. Two, approval of this exception should not alter the intent of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution. Excuse me. Zoning staff recommends approval of the request for a 50-foot variance to the minimum setback requirement on the major roadway from 100 feet required to 50 feet provided for the property located at 9142 Sylvania-Metamora Road for the following three reasons. One, the narrowness of the lot depth in conjunction with the substantial required setback produce a genuine hardship to the development of this lot. Two, approval of this variance should not present a negative impact upon the public good or neighboring properties or impair the visibility and or safety of the traveling public. And three, approval of this variance should not alter the intent of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution. Zoning staff recommends approval of the request for a 13-foot variance to the minimum rear setback requirement in an A3 district from 60 feet required to 47 feet provided for the property located at 9142 Sylvania-Metamora Road for the following three reasons. The narrowness of the lot depth in conjunction with the substantial required setback produce a genuine hardship to the development of this lot. Two, approval of this variance should not present a negative impact upon the public good or neighboring properties or impair the visibility and or safety of the traveling public. And three, approval of this variance should not alter the intent of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution. The applicant is here as well this evening, and the board members have also received an email that the zoning department received just this afternoon from the neighbor that lives directly behind the applicant.
Thank you, Darrell. Does anyone have any questions for Darrell? Do you want to assume other than this email, we haven't heard anything from any of the neighbors? No. Okay, excellent. Gary, any questions? Darrell? With the applicant, I assume. No. Okay. So with no comment from the applicant, are you guys good to go? Do you go to executive session? Fine.
I'm fine to make a decision on this.
Okay. We're just going to take these one by one. Okay. So let's start with the first one. Would anyone like to make a motion for the exception?
I'll make a motion for the exception for an addition to the legal non-conforming dwelling for the property located at 9142 Sylvania-Metamora Road, parcel number 78-01404, Sylvania Township zoning resolution that section 1703.
I'll second.
Okay. Mr. Malik,
Yes.
Mr. Levine,
Yes.
Mr. Mercer.
Yes.
All right. That's the first one. I'll take the second one. I'd like to make a motion for a variance request for an addition to a legal non-conforming dwelling for a front setback on a major roadway from 100 feet required to 50 feet provided. Property located at 9142 Sylvania-Metamora Road, parcel number 78-01404, Sylvania Township zoning resolution, section 700 subsection.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Levine,
Yes.
Mr. Mercer,
Yes.
Mr. Malik.
Yes. Okay, on to the final motion. Make a motion for a variance request for an addition to a legal non-conforming dwelling for a rear yard setback from 60 feet required to 47 feet provided for the property located at 9142 Sylvania-Metamora Road, parcel number 78-01404, Sylvania Township zoning resolution, section 700 subsection. Second.
Okay, Mr. Levine,
Yes.
Mr. Mercer,
Yes.
Mr. Malik.
Yes. Thank you very much. So at this time, all of these have been approved. You'll get something in writing from the township in the next 30 days, but you're free to begin moving forward. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Of course. With nothing else on the agenda, is anyone-
Excuse me, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman. We probably should make mention of the other 3 cases being postponed till the
Of course.
December 6th meeting.
We have,
Thank you.
there are 3 other business agenda items that have requested the applicant are going to wait to the December 6th meeting. All of those are for the property at 6448 West Central Avenue, so we will take them on December 6th. At this point, no other new business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Mr. Levine,
Yes.
Mr. Malik,
Yes.
Mr. Mercer.
Yes.
Well, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.